This is the CAVS POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What up, Cleveland Cavalier fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On CAVS and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel. She is former Cleveland Rocker, WNBA All-Star, the woman with the plan herself, Chasity Melvin. We're here to discuss the Cleveland Cavaliers taking a 3-2 lead over the Detroit Pistons with an unbelievable overtime victory tonight. On tonight's show, the Cavs are now in control of the series. James Harden and Max Strus coming through tonight. And I'm going to ask Chasity how she thinks the Cavaliers are going to close this one out and what it's going to take on Friday in Game 6. All that and a whole lot more. But let's go ahead and let's get the show started.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right. Keep it a buck with me, Chas. Did you think they were winning tonight?
Yes, I did. And let me tell you why. 2 reasons why I thought they were going to win tonight. James Harden was focused, okay? He started out the game. He was disciplined from the start. He was decisive. He knew what he wanted to do. And listen, he made a living at the free throw line tonight. Even though he didn't shoot the ball well, he attacked his matchups. He got the defensive matchups he wanted. And when he missed, he got to the free throw line. Listen, he scored his points off the clock tonight. And I just kept saying in the third quarter, if they can get the lead, because they didn't have the lead in the third quarter. And Cade Cunningham kept making sure that they didn't get the lead. But once they got that lead and Evan Mobley hit that 3, I said, if they can get the lead in the third quarter, the Cavs have a good chance of winning.
So let's go through that end of the third quarter run, because I feel like that was kind of when things kind of started to change for them. Just so, Mobley gets that big dunk and
left-handed dunk. Yes.
Yeah. Mitchell finally finds a groove and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be awesome. Like they might take this one. You feel really good. And then, so you're like, okay, cool. They end the third quarter just the way you want to end that quarter.
32-20 run.
Yeah.
Pistons run. Yeah.
And then the fourth quarter starts horrible. Detroit goes on that run. Cleveland can't find a shot. Their first 6 points, I think, in the quarter were from the free throw line. They can't hit a field goal. And then Uno says, I got y'all.
Yeah, listen. Evan Mobley, let's talk about him first.
Let's do it. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait.
Listen, the box score doesn't tell everything, and I had to write it down. 17, 8, and 8. He was 2 rebounds short of a triple-double and 2 rebounds, 2 assists short of a triple-double, okay? And this is what – it just wasn't his offense, but he was the assist man. He was finding James Harden. He finally got Donovan Mitchell his first 3 in the third quarter and then again in overtime. And also defensively, he took Tobias Harris out of the game. And so you love the movement on defense. You love how he was facilitating on offense. And listen, a box score doesn't tell everything, but Evan Mobley was the X factor tonight, along with, we're going to talk about it later, but you heard it all the way in Cleveland from the fans. Strus!
Okay, so I'm so glad you brought up Evan Mobley, because what's the thing Evan Mobley always gets knocked for, Chaz, besides the fact people try to say he's soft? By the way, Jaylen Tyson has been played off the floor in this series. Paul Reed was getting the big man minutes in fourth quarter and overtime. If that tells you anything about what Evan Mobley's done this series, that's the first thing I should point out. But we always talk about, I shouldn't say we, because we're pretty big Evan Mobley people here at Locked On Cavs, not just you and I, but Danny Cunningham as well. But we were like, he can't hit threes. Hits 2 big ones tonight. Well, his free throws, he's really struggles with his free throws. Goes 5 or 6 from the line. And huge ones that tie the game.
No, he was clutch tonight. Yeah. And I said it early on when we were on the squad show with Danny. I was like, Evan Mobley just has to get during movement, and he has to attack Tobias Harris. So I don't know if that's something that Coach Atkinson and the Cavs really wanted to work on, but not only did Evan Mobley attack the paint and drive hard with physicality, finish strong, there was no other way. I think the commentator alluded to it. I forget who it was. Jay Billett. Yeah. He was like, there's only one way you got to go in, and you got to finish strong over the top. So you love the physicality. And he had a keen focus about him. Like he had a poker face. Like nothing affected him. And you saw it at the free throw line when he made those clutch free throws. So I love the way Evan Mobley played tonight. And like you said, he took Duren out of the game. I thought Isaiah came in and played well for the Pistons. And obviously Paul Reed, but if you would have told me no Duncan Robinson tonight, Denise Jenkins starts for the Pistons. Cade is on a tear the first 3 quarters, and the Cavs, who haven't won on the road, they were 0 for 5, is going to win this road game. But it all unraveled in the third quarter when they got the lead.
So there was one moment in particular I want to talk about that was super early in the game. And I'll be honest, the lights were probably a little too bright for this player, but I also love what he did. And I'm going to talk about the 3 minutes Jaylen Tyson played. No shots, no rebounds, no assists. He had the 3 trill tonight on the box score.
Yeah.
But, I guess he did have a foul and a turnover. Yeah, technical. But I love it. I love that. No, he did have a shot because he got blocked by Stewart. So I love that he goes after Isaiah Stewart after that play. I loved that he got in his face when Tobias Harris steps up. I loved it because all we ever hear about this Cavs team is how soft they are.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Tyson said, dude, you are not going to punk me tonight. And look, that's the only thing he did in the whole game. But I feel like it really kind of set a tone because, realistically, if the Cavs don't turn the ball over, they might have won this game by way before overtime. They were shooting incredibly in the first half. They just couldn't hold on to the damn ball. And Detroit had a 20-2 advantage in points off turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, no, you like what Jaylen Tyson did there. And it didn't set the tone. It was a momentum changer. It gave the Cavs confidence, hey, we're here. We can win this game. We're in it. We're here. And Jaylen Tyson didn't back down. I think it also showed the Pistons this is going to be a fight because they had the lead at that point. And they thought that they were just going to walk away with it and just run over the Cavs. But Jaylen Tyson ignited something in that Cavs team with that technical foul, and it gave them a lot of confidence. It really did.
So Julius Pacheco says here, I lost my confidence. We were down 9 with 4 minutes to go. I did too. I thought, okay, we're going to have a game 7. We still might have a game 7. I'm not going to count, I'm not going to get ahead of my skis here. But I was like, oh, here we go again. And then just so many things happened. And one thing particular I absolutely want to talk about is the turning point in this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, Chaz. So I'm going to walk through it here. So Donovan Mitchell has Paul Reed coming at him on a closeout, pump fakes, moves to the side, hits a 3. The very next on the inbound, Max Strus gets a steal. Throws it to Donovan. Donovan gets the lay-in. That was... We talked about it. So this is now 2 of the last 3 games Max Strus has made the winning play.
Max Strus was everywhere. And when I mean everywhere. The offensive rebounds, he got late in the fourth, he got those two key
rebounds tonight.
2 key offensive rebounds and 2 key that gave them the points. But his activity on defense, first of all, shout out to Dean Wade. I know you guys only saw 6 rebounds and everything else 0.
No shots.
But he forced Cade Cunningham to give up the basketball. He played great defense. He allowed Max Strus to rest. And then Max Strus, the entire game, was flying around the court. He was keeping possessions alive. He just changed the energy for the Cavs, and then he was able to knock down shots. Listen,
20
Max
points.
Strus was, what was the cartoon character? He was the road runner.
Yeah.
Now you see him, now you don't. That's how his activity was, and he was everywhere. And that was a key play. Cade Cunningham was lackadaisical, and Max Strus just picked his pocket, and they never looked back after that.
Yeah, that's just a game changer. So Justin says here, Strus with 2 steals won 2 games in the series. 100%. There's no
100%.
Arguing that. Yeah, no arguing that.
And that's the stuff that matters in playoff basketball. And that's those effort plays by Max Strus. That's why the Cavs are going home with a win tonight, or coming back to Cleveland with a win.
Yeah. And, I want to give another shout out to James Harden here, which, is obviously super easy to do. So
38.
was 9 of 9 from the free throw line till the end of the game. But he misses that 1 and gets the biggest rebound of the game. James Harden got the biggest rebound of the game tonight.
And yeah, from my coaching perspective, I'm losing my mind on the sideline. You do not want to give up a rebound on the free throw line, but you definitely don't want to give it up to the guy shooting the free throw. Like that, and that was another turning point. Like that was over. Like once he got that rebound, like that killed the Pistons' chances of even trying to force a 2-for-1 or get a quick shot and foul and send them back to the free throw line. And it was crazy. But James Harden making his living on the free throw line tonight, your chances of beating a James Harden living at the line are slim to none.
And that's why you trade for him.
Yeah. And listen, Tim, again, we are getting a big three. I guess I can't make this analogy because we can bring up LeBron James because of his history with the Cavs, but they're sort of looking like James Harden and Donovan Mitchell are looking like D Wade and James. And then I'm giving Evan Mobley Chris Bosh.
Ooh, I love it.
If that big three can really come together, which they did tonight, and they did in game 4. So they're becoming a big three, and you see the confidence. Like those three guys were really communicating with each other in the timeouts. Evan Mobley knew where to find Donovan Mitchell in the corner. He knew where to find James Harden. That one time he got doubled and they kind of stole the ball. He was a little late kicking it back out to Donovan Mitchell, but they were on point tonight. They were really on point.
They really were. And like, we do have to take a break, which like I said this the other night, like I'm having so much fun talking about these wins, but when we come back, we're going to dive a little bit more into tonight's game. And we're going to talk about how the Cleveland Cavaliers can win game 5. But first, words from our sponsors. This episode, of course, is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here and every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel has a great offer to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. You can check stats, trends, and matchups before making your picks, which makes the whole experience feel a lot more informed. Whether you're looking at player props or just following your favorite stars, it adds another level of excitement to every game. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. This episode is also brought to you by my friends over at DoorDash. When I say my friends, it's because I spend a lot of money at DoorDash. It's embarrassing. But postseason is heating up, and DoorDash is a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun because every player has their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when your team stresses you out. Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert, or in my case, a 10-piece from Wingstop. Those late-night interviews hit and you suddenly need chips at midnight, DoorDash is built exactly for that. If the group chat says pull up, DoorDash makes sure you show up prepared. Snacks, cups, even a phone charger for the friend is always on 2%. I'm that friend. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Go ahead and give a big shout out to our everydayers here on the postcast as we're celebrating a huge Cleveland Cavaliers win, the biggest Cavaliers win in quite some time, honestly. And of course, if you are an everydayer and want to be part, make it official, check out the Locked On Podcast Everydayer Club for $5 a month or $50 a year. You can check out me on Locked On Cavs Postcast, Locked On Reds. I'm in both rooms chatting it up all the time. We're in there talking basketball with everybody. And say you're a Browns fan and a Guardians fan, we've got rooms for them too in there. So go to lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer to find out more. All right, Chasity. So there's a few more things I want to get to on tonight's game before we get to talking about Game 6, which, oh boy, I love Game 6. I'm so hot. But two things I want to point out. Let's give Kenny Atkinson his flowers. That first half, when things kind of were like rocky, he goes to that set of that lineup with Sam Merrill and Max Strus on the floor together. And a lot of people, when they see those two together, they think of it as like, oh yeah, it's just spreading the floor, give extra guys some shots for pick and pops and giving, and like driving dishes and things like that, dribble drives, etc. No, those guys were setting screens for each other to get open. And I thought that was just really smart from Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, it was definitely smart for them. And also, you can say what you want about those two guys, but Sam Merrill played a little bit of defense. Mm-hmm. They hold their own. Max Strus, they're in the right spots. Okay, are you talking about on the ball defense? Are they athletic enough? No, but they're great at angles. They're great at forcing guys to go opposite of the way they want to go. So kudos, give them a lot of credit. And then they were able to knock down shots. And Sam Merrill, he only needs to knock down 1 or 2 threes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then I want to give some love to Dennis Schroder, who we did not think was going to be a big part of this playoff run, but has been in both series. And tonight, this is another thing we talked about. You look at the box score, like, oh, okay, 5 points, 5 assists, and a +9. He had his presence felt tonight.
No, Dennis Schroder. What I like about Dennis Schroder is he gets in people's heads, especially the teams that he used to play with. I think he had that offensive charge call where he was baiting him from the back court into the front court. And when he got that charge call, I'm like, okay, this is why Dennis Schroder is on the court. But also his flybys, his ability to make layups in crucial times. And every time Dennis Schroder makes his layups is when the Cavs have gone cold. So he's crucial for the Cavs. He's been a spark off the bench. And Tim, you got to give my other big some love.
We haven't even talked about
the big role player all they want, all the fans, Jarrett Allen. Look, Brooklyn's front office is crying that they lost this guy. Okay, 16-10. This is a guy you don't have to draw plays for. This is a guy that puts his Cleveland hard hat on, and comes to work for the Cavs. His activity, though, 16-10, his double-double, it did not go unnoticed by Chaz. Okay, the big guy basketball was full effect, and they're outplaying Duren, Isaiah. They're outplaying Detroit's big men. And I don't know what JJ Bickerstaff is going to do, but that double big lineup, yeah, it's just hurting Detroit. If Duren's out of the game, they really don't have a chance.
Yeah, he's just going to complain because when the Pistons get to the free throw line more than the Cavs, it's because they're physical. Yeah, but when the Cavs get to the free throw line more than the Pistons, it's because the refs are in their back pocket. I don't know if you know this rule. It's obviously how it goes. Yeah. Which, whatever. Just admit that you guys lost the game. You had a 9-point lead with 4 minutes to go. You didn't close it out.
Kay Cunningham wasn't very good.
No.
Down the stretch. He was not.
No. Game-wise, he was awesome. But yeah, down the stretch. But it's like you're watching this game, and I know we're way over time here. Our bosses are going to yell at me. But you're like kind of watching this game. And I think about this all the time where it's like, okay, who are the guys you're going to when your other guys aren't going well? Things aren't going well. And for Cleveland, it's like, okay, they're going to Max Strus and Sam Merrill, and then Detroit's going to, like, no disrespect to him. I think he's a great player, and I think he's got like a bright future as a rotation guy. But they're going to like Marcus Sasser. And this is not a knock on Marcus Sasser. I like Marcus Sasser.
Yeah.
But like if you're talking about, he's a young guy in his second year who doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, hit a big shot tonight, like give him all the credit. But there's something about like just that like level of playoff intelligence. And he's going to learn it from this series. Like Detroit's going to be scary for a long time. But I think this is a situation where it's like you're looking at who the Cleveland's bringing in the games and who they're bringing in the games. And it's just kind of like where you see a little difference. And I want to make sure I already get this. I'm not saying the Cavs are going to win the series. Anything can happen these next 2 games. They obviously have the edge, but there's definitely a difference when you see things like that.
No, we've seen Detroit bounce back. Orlando beat them at home that series. They played terrible. But listen, no Duncan Robinson for the Pistons. I'm sure that threw every rotation off for JJ Bickerstaff and his staff. So, it's like, excuse me, guys, it's late. But no Duncan Robinson. He spaces the floor even if he's not scoring. So he was out of the game. And you got to give credit to Evan Mobley. Took Tobias Harris out of the game. Tobias Harris was not in the game. That was another thing. He's been a thorn in the Cavs side these first 3 games, and finally he's gone cold. So credit to Cavs defense and Evan Mobley, taking that defense challenge and taking it upon himself taking that challenge.
So here's what I'm going to say real quick before we get into, as far as now we return to game 6, and we're going to talk about how they close this out. One thing I'm going to say, the one thing I'm asking for, Kobe, Kenny, Johnny Bryant, staff, whoever we got to talk to, Dan Gilbert. By the way, Dan Gilbert flying. That's so cool that he had
shout out to Dan Gilbert.
That's so cool. Throwback jerseys Friday night.
Gotta have them.
Gotta have them. Gotta have the throwback court. Need it. Cavs are undefeated at home in the playoffs. We all know this. They just play a little better when they see that swag jersey come out. There's something about it. So that's part 1. Now let's get to basketball. How do they close this out on Friday night?
Well, really quick, Tim, listen, Spider Mitchell. Spider's got to unleash his superpowers, and that's scary hours for Detroit because he actually had a subpar game tonight. He was cold. He came through, obviously, in overtime. So obviously he knew something we didn't know. So he was resting up for overtime. But going back home for a game 6, Spider is going to unleash the superpowers. And then James Harden, the guy you traded for, he is going to control the pace again. He's going to steal points on the free throw lines. And he's going to manipulate the defenders. And then your big men are healthy. They're gaining confidence. Just feed the bigs and go off and then whichever spark you want off the bench. Doesn't really matter. Max Strus, Sam Merrill, and Dean Wade has been great defensively for the Cavs. So they just got to play the same type of basketball. And last but not least, Tim, but we all know it, the fans, everyone knows it, limit the turnovers.
For once, just one game, just limit the turnovers. You get a couple days off before you got to play the Knicks. You got to go to the Garden for game 1. That's all we're saying. Just hold on to the ball. And here's one thing I'll say about James Harden here before we get out. We all talk about when they lost that series to Golden State when he was in Houston, and everyone brings it up. They're up 3-2. They lose it. That's going to be in some people's heads here. I get it. Here's the difference. Donovan Mitchell's healthy. Chris Paul was not.
Right. Correct. Yeah. All the basketball minds know if Chris Paul hadn't got injured, they would have won that series.
Yes, 100%. And
no doubt about it.
They would probably ran the Cavs off the
You can't say that. Whoever's on the court, that's what you win with. But no, basketball minds know. And yes, Donovan Mitchell. I thought he tweaked his ankle a little early in that second quarter. I think that took him out of the game a little bit. But he'll be ready for game 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Spider superpowers will be unleashed.
Dude, those Adidas Don 8s.
Scary.
Every game.
Scary hours for the big 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we better get out of here because we're over on time. But thank you all so much for hanging out with us, whether you're on Locked On Cavs or Locked On NBA or Locked On Podcast Network. We were live on every channel tonight, so it was whole lot of fun. Had our biggest live audience we've ever had. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. And of course, Danny Cunningham will have his instant reaction from Rocket Arena, as well as his full breakdown of the game as well. Be sure to stay tuned to that and subscribe. Hit that notification button here on YouTube or your podcast app of choice, because we are giving you all the Cavs content we possibly can. On behalf of Chas Melvin, I'm Tim Daniel. Everyone, I will see you. Put it on, Rocket. Put it on, girl. Put it on. Put it on. All right.
Later.
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your couple days. Go Cavs. We'll see you Friday night.